In the late 16th century, the British Empire was desperate to establish a foothold in the uncharted lands of North America. In 1587, a group of 115 English settlers, men, women, and children, sailed across the treacherous Atlantic Ocean. Led by John White, they landed on Roanoke Island, off the coast of modern-day North Carolina. They sought a new beginning, a promised land. But what they found was a nightmare waiting in the shadows. From the very moment they arrived, tension filled the air. The local Native American tribes were hostile, resources were dangerously low, and winter was fast approaching. Realizing his people would not survive the coming months, John White made a difficult decision. He would sail back to England to gather desperate supplies, leaving his daughter, his son-in-law, and his newborn granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America, behind. He promised to return within a year. Little did he know, he would never see his family alive again. When John White arrived in England, fate turned against him. A massive war erupted between England and the Spanish Armada. Every single British ship was confiscated for the war effort. White was trapped, helpless, knowing his family was starving on a remote island thousands of miles away. 3 long years passed before White was finally allowed to sail back to Roanoke. For 3 years, he stared at the ocean, wondering if his granddaughter was still breathing. In August 1590, his ship finally anchored near the shores of Roanoke Island. It was evening. As the crew approached the island, they saw smoke rising from the trees. Hope surged through White's veins. They shouted into the darkness, singing English songs to let the settlers know help had arrived. But no one answered. The only sound was the eerie howling of the wind through the trees. The next morning, White and his men stepped onto the shores of Roanoke. What they discovered sent a shiver down their spines. The settlement was completely empty. The houses had been systematically dismantled, not destroyed by force. There were no signs of a struggle, no bloodstains, and no human remains. The colony of 115 people had simply evaporated into thin air. Then they found the clues. Carved into a massive wooden post of the fort's entrance was a single cryptic word in capital letters, Croatoan. On another nearby tree, the letters Kro were etched into the bark. Before leaving 3 years prior, White had told the settlers that if they were forced to leave, they should carve the name of their destination. If they were in distress or under attack, they were supposed to carve a cross above the name. White looked frantically at the carvings. There was no cross. This meant they had left willingly. But where? Croatoan was the name of a nearby island and a local friendly Native American tribe. White desperately wanted to sail there to search for his family, but a massive tropical storm battered his ships, destroying their anchors and forcing them back to England. White died years later, heartbroken, never knowing the truth. For over 4 centuries, historians, scientists, and archaeologists have tried to solve the mystery of Roanoke. What actually happened to the 115 lost souls? Theory 1. The slaughter. Some believe the hostile local tribes attacked the colony, slaughtered everyone, and cleaned up the evidence to warn other white settlers away. Theory 2. Integration. The most accepted theory is that facing starvation, the settlers moved to Croatoan Island and integrated with the Native Americans. Over generations, their bloodlines merged. This theory is supported by later reports of European settlers finding Native Americans with gray eyes and the ability to speak English. Theory 3. The witchcraft and the supernatural. Local legends speak of a darker truth, that the island itself was cursed, and an ancient spirit consumed the settlers, leaving only the word Croatoan as a permanent mark of its hunger. To this day, no definitive archaeological evidence has ever proven where the settlers went. The forest of Roanoke holds its secrets tightly. the 115 people who stepped into the shadows of the New World, remain one of history's greatest, most chilling vanishing acts. They became ghosts of the past, leaving behind only a single word carved into wood, echoing through time: Croatoan.